welcome to another Chuchu Boy YouTube channel video, and the motor is in, as you can see. Finally, it's kind of a mess right now, but we're working on pretty much hooking up the wire harness and all that stuff, the intake, the injectors, and fuel rail and all this stuff. There's a little bit of, not complication, but we have to figure a couple things out with the fuel rail, injector, and all that. These are our D2000s. First of all, I'd like to thank Lou Cypher. I don't know if I butchered your last name, but I think it's Lou Cypher. I'd like to thank you for giving me some information, and you also hooked me up with the intake and the injectors. So thank you. I was just talking to him actually about what to use to be able to clear, or actually clear, there's too much clearance, let's just say, between the injector and the rail and the intake. So the difference between the rail, that spacer, and the injector hat, it was too much, it was too big. So, but we were thinking about a couple things, and we could take these hats off and get, he was saying the silver ones, or we could just modify this, not modify, but put another spacer between the intake space, obviously between the intake and the rail, to accommodate for the lack of spacer, and run longer bolts, and that way we don't have to mess with the injector, which is good to me. I like to not mess with it. But so we got super lucky because these are the old, like really old bolts that go from ID 1300s to stock intake manifold on the fuel rail. So we got lucky because I can use these 4. Also, we got these spacers, which we're gonna be able to use, and they're right here. These are from the old, again, stock intake, fuel rails, and all that stuff. So these spacers, which I cannot use because they're too big, I'm just gonna cut them and make a spacer on top of the spacer, and that'll work. Thankfully I got 3 of them. That's why you guys should always keep parts. Don't sell everything you have. Sometimes if you keep some parts around, they will save your butt. They have saved mine many times. Saved my culo. And then these bolts, obviously, like I was saying, they were in the other intake. And I have a funny story about this. When I found the bolts again, they came like this, and I was like, oh, there's a washer, washer, and washer. There's no washer on that one. Well, about 3 days ago, I was rotating the engine to install the Romac balancer. Thank you, Sally, you're awesome. And I was installing the balancer, and I was like, well, let me torque it down and spin the motor and all that stuff. So I was spinning the motor, and it stopped, and I was like, what the hell is that? So I went the other way, and I was just like, yeah, I don't like it. So I went cylinder by cylinder, and on cylinder 1, there this was a washer. So we had to get a couple tools to get this thing out. My wife actually ended up getting it out, so I was kind of salty about that because I wanted to do it. Anyways, and that was it. So yeah, the motor's in. We are, I'm anticipating an issue with this coupler right here, and possibly the coupler on the other turbo side too, the cold side pretty much, because the turbos, they went up about 1 inch, right? Because we have those 1 inch spacers, and the houses are just bigger, so they move off center to the right on this case, and off center to the left on that turbo. So these ones, they are like, I would say about 1.5 inches, that's what she said, short of the turbo. So we're gonna have to either get one longer through, like, I don't know, vibrant or something like that, get a coupler, and then cut it in half, and then be able to adapt that to it. Nothing crazy, it's just simple, really simple stuff. It's just annoying when you're like trying to get stuff together and ready to roll. But simple stuff. Other than that, we try to hide all the vacuum stuff back there and still be able to service it. So there is a hole in there that I can get my hand through and service all that stuff. We're trying to hide all the mess. And this blue hose obviously is gonna go because it's just way out of there, you know. My wife was like, oh, you should let people like vote black or blue or purple. No, you're not allowed to vote. It's my car. I get to say what goes in here. Okay? I'm not like the other YouTube channels like, hey guys, what's going on? Put it in the comments below if you would like me to drive a Miata with 3 wheels, gold, and 1 purple. No, I'm not gonna do that. This is my car. This is what I like, and that's what I'm gonna put in the car. So if it's blue, I don't like it. That was like a quick fix for the last setup. Oh, and one other thing. For this turbo, if you want to take from the top, you'll be able to see that there's like no space right here to be able to get a housing out. Now, the exhaust out. So that's going to be super interesting because Roger is going to have a challenge on doing this. I texted him and I sent him a picture and I said, dude, you're going to have a hard time doing this. And he said, oh, don't worry, I'll be able to do it. Well, buddy, there you go. You better figure it out. Gushers, whatever. You guys could have organized my bolts, but no. You said, you know what? Didn't figure it out. This is one that is definitely not one stock.
The stock one.
Gosh. You able to?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, barely.
You got it?
Lando.
If you need this engine more smooth,
You can move it.
okay. Good or no?
I'm good. I am good. Do you need light? Yep, keep going. Hold up. Alright.
Good.
Yeah, keep going.
love.
Yep, there she is. Wheels are on. Still rocking the SVs, baby. Talk about poverty stars. I'm more like poverty SVs. Nothing wrong with that, man. Yeah, here it is. We're about to lower the car. Powerglide is installed. Converter, the trans brake, everything's wired up. We had a little bit of not rough time, but we're trying to figure out the shifter linkage and all that good stuff. We'll have to put it up again to final adjustment, but so far it's still good. We're about to put the car down in the ground, see how everything looks.